What is going on? So today, in today's video, I'm out here on the east side of Las Vegas at Ghetto Red Rock, and you can kind of tell by the gangbangers that be putting all their little neighborhood right here. But yeah, I'm just gonna cruise the Optic around today. I brought the Evo as well, and I just wanted to cruise around and give you guys a little insight on my first year. This is so I've been dealing with RC cars since like 4 years now. That I got back into it. I did have one as a child, but it was nothing to compare to what's available now. So I just wanted to go over like my opinion on the things that I've noticed and what I'm seeing in the RC industry. It's all pretty much new to me, and it's been about a year that I built my first actual 110 crawler. And also I decided to make an Instagram and start getting more involved in the community, meeting people and things like that. All right, so yeah, I had a little issue with the electronics. It shut down for some reason, but they're back on, so we'll continue here. Yeah, it's been about a year since I built my my first crawler and started getting more involved in the RC community and meeting new people and things of that nature. So I just wanted to give my little experience on what I'm seeing. And nothing bad. It's just my opinion. You know what I mean? I completely understand that. Some of these people, this is what their livelihood depends on, and I have no doubts or I wouldn't expect less that they stand behind their products and stuff like that. So I originally started like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I used to ride a lot of dirt bikes and quads and stuff, and kind of when I was out there at the dunes and stuff, I bought a Baja Ray 2.0 and a little Traxxas E-Revo, the brushless one, and I would just take them out there and just have a good time, and I was letting the forearm rest from that throttle. But that's kind of the start to it. And back in 2021, I was in a pretty bad accident. I wound up breaking 3 of my bones, one of them being in my spine, and that kind of put me in a position that I probably should chill a little bit. And that's when I decided to get more involved with the RC crawlers and stuff like that. So that kind of brings you up to speed on where things are today. And I don't know, I already lost track. I mean, I have about, I want to say maybe 15, close to 20 cars in total. Some small, some 10 scale, some 8 scale. But hold up. But yeah, so that's kind of how I started, and I started getting I started exposing myself to people, meeting new people and stuff like that. And I do see like I was saying earlier, companies are naturally going to stand behind their products, and I'm starting to see like in the RC world, it's no different than anywhere else, man. Like, I mean, we could go to like off-road shocks. I'll use that as an example. You're gonna have your dudes that love their Kings, and you're gonna have the dudes that love their Fox shocks. You know what I mean? They're gonna stick to their guns, and you won't find. And somebody proved me wrong, but I've never seen a guy running a BDS slip kit on King shocks. Most of those guys are gonna be foxed up. So I don't see any difference in the RC world. It's kind of like your preference. For me personally, I do have the brands that like I'm pretty comfortable with, and I'm happy with the products that I've purchased from them. So I continue to support them, man. And everybody's gonna have their opinion. As far as like you know, brands and stuff like that. You know, I know dudes that run full Enduro stuff or Amazon stuff, and they have a good time, you know what I mean? And then some guys, you know, they invest a little bit more money. Maybe they have a little bit more money to spend on their hobby, and you know, they buy something a little bit more with a higher price tag on it. And to me, that's, you know, who am I to tell somebody what they're going to do with their money or what their preference should be, you know what I mean? If you want to run a certain brand of truck, or, you know, ESC motor, whatever it is, servo, we can keep going down the line. It's to me, it's purely find the product that you are comfortable with, you can afford, and just go from there, man. See what works for you. Like for myself, I do run predominantly reef servos, and they are pricey, but I know what I'm getting out of them. I'm getting, you know, fast speeds, high torque, and a really great product, man, in my opinion. He does have these brass ones that, you know, he's probably the only one in the industry that makes them, and that's another, you know, premium, if you want to call it that. So let me see if I can get this guy up here. Yes, sir. So yeah, that's what it breaks down for to me, you know what I mean? You know, you're gonna buy what you want. I personally have only broken one servo out of all the reef servos that I have, and it's gonna be my Raw 800 that's in my my VRD build that's into an Evo now merge. So I've broken the gears, but that was completely my fault. Like, you know, I'm pretty hard on my cars, and it fell like 25 feet and wound up breaking it. So I can't hold reefs or their products at fault for that. You know what I mean? That's my mistake. I don't baby my cars. That's why I prefer to buy Vanquish. Their axles, or the stubs, are all like thicker and stuff, and I've never broken an axle or anything like that on my Vanquish trucks, and you know, I've dropped them. So it goes back to what I was trying to tell you guys, that, you know, it really kind of just depends on you know, what your budget is and what you're willing to invest in your hobby, you know what I mean? So that's one of the things that I kind of started to see, that, you know, people get real hung up on, you know, what they're running or whatever, and that's cool, you know. But I'm not me personally, like, I'm not gonna slam a company or anything like that, especially if I've never ran their product. You know, if I'm just gonna sit here and say, oh no, this brand is this because of this or whatever, you're never gonna hear any of that from me, man. If I get a product that's faulty and I reach out for customer service and I don't get any assistance or whatever, if it's something that's not my fault, then, you know, things may change at that point. But to this day, I haven't had that experience, and I look forward to things continuing to be the same. In regards to people in the hobby, it's like anything else, man. The only thing I would say is I can fairly bet that, you know, we all come from a different past. You know, some of us have gone to college, and some of us have done different things in life, you know, but we're all here, and we're kind of reunited, or coming together with the hobby, you know what I mean? Whether it's at an event, on the weekends with your locals, that really that's really what it boils down to, man. And in my opinion, I'm not here to hate on anybody or think I'm better than anybody else or anything like that. I do my own thing. If I cross paths with you and meet up in person, then that's cool. You know, I'm never not open to meeting new people and stuff like that. But you're not gonna be everybody's cup of tea, and everybody's not gonna be yours. So it's nothing different than what goes on in the day-to-day life of, you know, of all of us. So something to keep in mind throughout, you know, your experience in the hobby. I would say, once again, test out the products you want to try out, and go with what you're comfortable with. You know what I mean? if you got the money and you want to spend a little bit, by all means, there's several brands out there, manufacturers, plenty of options. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you go this route or that route. All I can tell you is, if I'm asked for my opinion, I'll always say what I run and what my experience has been. So that's one of the big things that I noticed, man. I did go to Pro Line by the Fire this year. This was my first event. And it was a pretty good time, man. I was able to meet some pretty cool people. And even within this last year, I did go out to, like last year in, or earlier this year in January, Reeves had an event at his headquarters in Corona. And I went out there, man, and I was able to meet him. I wasn't really able to talk to him too much, although I would have loved the opportunity. But I was able to meet him, and it was cool, man. Like, he was real respectful. Yeah, so I met Javi from IERC. I was able to meet the Rock Pirates, Christian and Connor, and the captain in person at Proline. Although it was brief, you know, I did want to introduce myself to those guys and let them know that I appreciate, you know, I did win a chassis from them, and with some Knights custom stuff and a Reeves trans and all that. So I've been pretty fortunate, man, myself and my experience, and I feel like you know, I'm not gonna sit here and bash somebody that, you know, hasn't given me a reason to. So that's kind of my take on things. Like I said, man, everybody's gonna have their own opinion. Everybody's gonna want to run and try to convince somebody else or whatnot. Not everybody, but, you know, these dudes that you know, that this is what they eat from, and their livelihood depends on moving RC products. You know what I mean? So, and that's just not in RC. That's in everything, right? If we go to cars, you know, there's gonna be your Ford guys, and there's gonna be your Chevy guys, or Dodge guys, or whatever you want to put in there, Toyota guys. So it ain't nothing different. It's the same thing. Just, you know, we're just dealing with something else. But I did notice that, man, that you know, people are, you know, I don't know, I hate to say cliquey, but it does kind of seem like it, you know, and that's cool. I mean, we all have our people that we hang out with and stuff like that, but I personally, like, I'm not here for that. Like, you're never gonna hear me hating on a brand or anything like that. Like I said, unless I absolutely have had a bad experience and I've got something to stand on. And like I said, man, people are gonna spend what they want on their toys, you know, and there's gonna be people that, you know, if you build $1,000 rig, they're gonna hate on you just for building $1,000 rig, right? But don't think just because you build $1,000 rig that, you know, you're gonna be able to do everything, or you're gonna be the dude, because you know, the driver mod's real important. So I mean, you can have the best whip, the best electronics, all the top-notch shit, but if you can't drive, then it really defeats the purpose. And the same thing, you know, on the opposite end. If you're that dude like Wyatt Mellon, I'm sure that dude will pick up a all Amazon build and fucking rock that thing out. You know what I mean? So that's a real important thing. Don't think that just because you're buying all the best shit, you're gonna win every competition or whatever you're trying to do. It'll give you an advantage, absolutely, but there's gonna be other factors that you need to consider. So yeah, that's another thing that I didn't want to mention in this video. I'm kind of just cruising around. Pretty cool spot, looking for different lines. And yeah, so other than that, I mean, I don't really like to talk when I'm driving because it's kind of hard to do. I'm not that talented. There's plenty of other dudes on YouTube that do that already. But maybe if I get better, I can. But as of right now, I don't think I'm that talented. But yeah, guys, that's my little take on this. I'm gonna cruise around a little bit, and then we'll just get some regular footage from now on out.